First of all, I just want to say thank you for everyone attending. Battle of the Pitch Decks, the first Battle of the Pitch Decks. There'll be many more to come. I just want to do a special thanks to Dentons and VIATEC, also with Capital Investment Network and Women's Equity Lab for making this all happen. Also a special thanks to our judges for volunteering their time and efforts today, and also putting towards a contribution little package for the winner, with their time and expertise. And again, of course, the startups for participating today. And I know it took a lot of time and effort to put together these 7-minute pitch videos. So, thanks so much. And I look forward to seeing all the presentations. A little background on our judges. First, I'll start with James DeGrief. He's a partner at Good News Venture. He's the chair at Capital Investment Network and the founder of Genealogics. He's a big brother to a lot of startups in Victoria, actively supporting the local startup community. We also have Sang Lee from KPMG. He's a partner there in the Victoria office. He works with entrepreneurs and organizations and help financial reporting and tax compliance with requirements. We got Eric Broadman, corporate commercial MA laureate at Dentons for a year now, and prior to that, he was with Ferris's for 5 years. We have Lisa Grambois. She's the founder of virtual FrontierCFO. She works with clients, setting up being a virtual CFO with tech, tax, and finance expertise. We have Jeff Sims. Currently, he's the executive director for CarePoint Medical Clinics, and he's the founder of Strategic Decision Institute. We also have Stephen Myhill-Jones, Victoria-based technology entrepreneur investor. He founded and was part of a bootstrapping software company called Latitude Geographics, and now is part of Vertigis, if I got that right. Grew the company to 140 employees and raised the exit back in 2017. And so that's the intro for our judges. So thanks again, judges, for participating in this Battle of the Pitch Decks. So I'll take it on to you, Tessa.
Welcome everyone. I'm Tessa Belsfield from VIATEC. Just a few housekeeping items. I think we're all seasoned Zoom professionals now, but just like a flight attendant, I need to point out the obvious. So with the chat box, you can feel free to chat with fellow attendees. Just remember to select all panelists and attendees and not just all panelists if you want everyone to see it. And then also we've got the Q&A box. Feel free to ask questions during some of the pitches. I believe I have set it up so that the participating startups can reply to your questions if they have time after the pitch. Otherwise, we will get to it near the end during deliberation with the judges. And that is it. So everyone have a great time.
That's
Jordan?
No, thank you. Did I miss something?
No.
Oh.
You're supposed to intro the first pitch.
Oh, sorry. I'm off script already. Sorry. I want to introduce, I get Joni for the first of the 3 pitch presentations.
Okay, let me just share my screen. Bear with me. Here we go.
Hi, this is Jayesh.
Hi, this is Linda, and we're Team Joni. So Joni is an organic period care company offering Canadians period care products via D2C. So 40% of people who use organic period care products are not currently happy with the options. Why? They leak, they're uncomfortable, they're expensive, and they're not always available, especially to remote communities in Canada. So what are the current options that we see? There's very traditional options like Always and Kotex. These are very plastic heavy options. Plastic takes over 400 years to decompose in landfills. These products are available, but they haven't been innovated, and they really focus on just efficacy of the product, which we think is the bare minimum. only organic biodegradable bamboo pad. So our pad biodegrades within 12 months versus a traditional products which biodegrade in 400 years. That's a huge difference. So green consumers are really looking for those options. Our social mission is also really important to us. We focus on our 1-for-1 because 1 in 3 Canadians under the age of 25 live in period poverty. We also offer our customers accessibility through our subscription on D2C and through our retailers with B2B. So why is the timing right? So 4 months ago before COVID, people would have been asking, why would I buy period care online? But COVID has really advanced the e-commerce landscape. Essentially, consumers are now asking, where can I buy this product online? And we're making it very easy for them via our subscription. Canada also lags behind in femtech. So the US market, femtech is expected to reach $50 billion by 2025. In Canada, we're just not there yet. And that's why we see very limited options for Canadians. So what sets us apart? As you can see on this chart, we're really hitting all the priority points for green consumers. We're sustainable. Our price point is accessible. We offer the only biodegradable bamboo pad in Canada. We're offered on both B2B and D2C channels, making it highly accessible. And we're the only company that offers free shipping because we have designed our packages to be able to ship anywhere in Canada with a flat rate. So that means that someone buying it in Vancouver gets free shipping and it has access to organic period care, and someone in remote communities in Manitoba also has free shipping, and we can ship for the same price from both places. We're also the only company that offers the 1-for-1 model, which really resonates with green consumers, and it's really helping our brand awareness. So what's our total addressable market? We're targeting 30 to 40-year-olds, so the growing millennial category. This is a large segment that's very vocal online. We're also targeting secondary markets. We found that the 40 to 50-year-olds, although they're phasing out of their periods, are actually very influential to the younger generation. We've seen a lot of consumers and a lot of customers sign up, parents signing up their daughters on our subscription model. Then if you go to the other side, the younger demographic, the Gen Ys, 20 to 30-year-olds, and although traditionally they don't have the same disposable income, they prioritize their spending and purchase organic period care.
We have seen in the market that once the customer buys this kind of products and likes this product, they stick with the same brand for years and probably passes it to the next generation. So the lifetime value we are seeing is $1,320, and which is just in the 50% of profit margin, $734. The cost of acquisition is declining. We started with $100, now it's $40, and we are anticipating it to go down to even $20 in a couple of other months. So we just launched this business before COVID hit us, and we raised $147,000 in February. In March, we launched GetJourney.com. Since then, we had $15,000 in revenue. We have 85 subscribers, and that gives us the recurrent revenue of around $1,000, and it's growing at around 55% month over month. We also built a Journey Cup prototype, which is very innovative, and we are very excited about that cup. And we built a board of advisors who help us actually to connect with the industry and other people who are like-minded and they are interested in growing this business efficiently. In next 6 months, we are planning to bring another $300,000 from the investment in terms of the SAFE. This money would help us build our community to the 10,000 followers on Instagram and Facebook. We are on Amazon, and we also want to enter into US Amazon. So this money would help us scale into the US as well. And we are also talking with some B2B partners like Whole Foods and London Drugs. So some of this money would go into like building a B2B channel. And we also want to plan our Kickstarter campaign for Journey Cup that we are very excited about. In long run, we are anticipating by 2025, what we want is the $50 million in recurrent revenue, which would give us around $500 million in the valuation. But that's a long run. So with this, we are anticipating the revenue of $50,000 this year in next 4 months, and $500,000 next year, and $3 million in 2022. What we are asking for is $300,000 using standard agreement for future equity. We are offering 20% discount on 2.8 million post money cap. The minimum is $10,000. We have all the numbers and financials and the pitch deck to run through. If you are interested, please reach out to me or Linda, and we would be happy to help you with any information that you need. Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity. Bye.
Thank you so much, Jayesh and Linda. Great presentation. This time we'll just close it up for the judges to ask questions. Feel free to use the raise hand and the chat if needed, but take it on to the judges to ask questions.
Yeah, this is James DeGrief here. I noticed in your competition matrix that Joni was the only competitor that had bamboo, and I was just curious about the significance of that, and why have it as a line item? Why is bamboo important?
I can take that, Linda.
Sure.
Yeah. The reason we went with the bamboo is there hasn't been much innovation in this segment. Initially, there was plastic pads and the liners that we have been seeing for ages, and then came the cotton and then organic cotton. The thing with organic cotton is it still requires a lot of water, and at the same time, because you are not using any pesticides or anything, you lose some of the products which actually has been affected by pest. So with bamboo, it is already antibacterial, and you don't need any pesticide while growing, and it actually consumes 1/10 of the water to produce, and there is no land irrigation or anything, so soil irrigation. So these are all the benefits. At the same time, for the consumer, it's 3 times softer and 3 times more absorbent compared to organic cotton. So we were like, okay, this is the raw material that we can use actually, and we don't have to worry about waste of the raw material during the production, or about the pesticides or anything, or the effect on land. And that's the reason we went with bamboo.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I got a question.
Yeah.
If I can. Just wondering what the cost curve reductions are as you reach scale, and at what volume points do you see those cost reductions in your supply?
Hey, Sang.
Hi.
Good to see you.
You too.
Yeah, that's something Jayesh, I'm sure going to take on.
Yeah, sure. So right now we are paying highest for even the manufacturing and everything. As we grow, the cost would decline after we have around 20,000 recurrent customers, and the cost would go down by 35%, which is significant cost reduction actually in terms of the shipping and in terms of the production cost as well. So in terms of shipping, after 5,000 customers, we are seeing around 15% in cost cutting, and after 20,000 customers, we can provide 2 days shipping, which is like compared to Amazon Prime, 2 days free shipping anywhere in Canada, which is amazing, and free shipping without having to subscribe or anything for customer. And we also save money in terms of around 35% in terms of shipping and production.
I could just add
20,000
about
customers.
Just add about the shipping, because I think it's fairly significant. Canada is a fairly big country, and so shipping is always a big issue for D2C companies. But we've designed our boxes so that they're actually shipped letter mail. So it's a flat rate no matter where you are in Canada, which really allows us to gain access to many more customers, and really goes back to our mission of being able to provide organic period care to everyone who needs it.
Steve Myhill-Jones here. I've got a question. Do you envision bamboo will remain at the heart of your products and your market differentiation? And given its superior properties, why aren't others using it?
There are actually other companies that have been using bamboo, but they're not in Canada. So I think Canada is a bit lagging behind. When we conducted research, there are companies in Australia, UK, India, and even in Latin America who have been using this product very successfully. And so that's why we started with a pad. The thing with pad is we don't have to go through Health Canada regulation. And that was the easy entry point in terms of this menstrual hygiene category. And that's why we started with the bamboo or organic bamboo pad. But we don't see bamboo is the only significant differentiator. So how we see is eventually we will have the complete product range of organic cotton tampons, reusable pads and reusable panty liners, and also the cup that we have been designing is insanely amazing. So what we are saying is, instead of this, choosing one product or like just selling one product that customer has, we don't want to force any customer to buy one product. So if you look at the competitors, Diva Cup, they sell only cups, so you can't buy any other product from them. Or there are other brands that sell, when they sell disposable products, they just sell disposable products. You can't buy cup or anything from them. We want to be a one-stop shop for no matter what is your requirement in terms of period care. And the goal is to make the most sustainable, most innovative, and best product in market available. Keep innovating. That's our strategy.
Thank you for that, Stephen and Jayesh. Jeff, you have one quick question you want to sneak in there?
I'll mention it for him because he might have choppy internet.
Yeah, if I get it clear, if you can hear me, but I wrote it down.
Go ahead.
If you want to go ahead and ask me if I'm not coming in clear, but I'm interested. This is produced in Canada.
Okay, he cut out. So manufactured where? Bamboo supply to Canada, place of production, question?
Guys, I'm looking just at.
I can take that question. Okay. So right now with the organic bamboo, because bamboo comes from China easily, so we are sourcing it from China. The couple of things that we ensure is the supplier has to have FSC certification and eco certification, which ensures the organic operations and organic product in the end. And at the same time, we make sure that our supplier goes through a couple of quality control certification process like ISO 9001 and also Oikotex, which make sure that more than it's the how do I put it? So the strongest compliance in the market instead of toxic chemicals or anything. So it make sure that there are 100 chemicals which can be carcinogenic or anything in the product, in the clothing material, and it makes sure that any of that product chemical is not there in the final product. So we make sure that our supplier goes through those quality control right now. But unfortunately, we can't produce right now within in Canada. But going forward, we are designing our cup and a couple of reusable products, and that we will be manufacturing in Canada.
Just to add to that, our strategy on the product procurement side, it's varying. So for items like pads and tampons, it makes sense for us to source it. And we would source the most innovative product on the market. But for things like our Joni cup, where we have the patent on that design, especially this one, which is different than all the other ones on the market, we could manufacture that in Canada because there's significant benefits for us doing that, to do that. So we're taking a varied approach depending on what the product is. But ultimately what we're able to do is offer the full product line of period care for people who bleed.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you, Linda, for that. We're just going to move on to the next startup. So I want to introduce Rebecca and Sean with Inkly. So if you want to just run that test, that'd be awesome.
I'm Rebecca Kirstein, and I'm the founder and CEO of Inkly. The skills gap is projected to leave 2.4 million jobs unfilled and cost the U.S. economy more than $2.5 trillion over the next decade. The future of work and learning is here, and the major challenge is that this is what is often referred to as a wicked problem. A social problem that's difficult to solve because of incomplete or contradictory knowledge, the number of people and opinions involved, the large economic burden, and the interconnected nature of these problems with other problems. Have you ever found yourself asking questions like these? Who do I want to be? What do I need to do to get there? Who could help me get there? These questions require insightful responses and guidance. These are questions I tend to ask other people. As I transitioned from my role as the founder and executive director of a not-for-profit youth organization to the CEO and product manager of Inkly, I definitely had questions. Are my skills transferable to a role in tech? What does a product manager need to know? How can I connect with product managers for advice and guidance? I've been lucky enough to get the advice I've needed when I needed it, thanks to the generosity of people who'd been there before. But what if I didn't know these people? What if I hadn't attended that one event or received that one intro or been born into the right postal code? Inkly was founded to share and scale the benefit of discovering connections and having access to opportunities earlier in life, regardless of inherited network or circumstances, because we believe that the skills gap is actually an opportunity gap. Closing the skills gap is not just a function of skills acquisition and training. We must also support people to discover occupational identities, giving their skills context, and to access social capital, giving people opportunities to put their skills to use. At Inkly, we believe that everyone can discover and become who they believe they can be. All that's required is a guide and gateway. Inkly is that digital guide and gateway, bridging the divide between education and work for the lifelong learner through a continuous process of inquiry, discovery, and wayfinding. The experience begins, as all great learning begins, with a question. A mobile-first interface transforms a moment of curiosity into a well-formed question. By simply asking a question, the lifelong learner is matched to a curated offering of knowledge, guidance, and opportunities from a collective network of human and social capital. By delivering compelling questions that the most suitable mentors will enjoy answering, Inkly delivers an engaging experience to its mentor community as well. Mentorship is recognized as a particularly engaging form of volunteerism. Inkly transforms the mentor's unique collection of skills and experience into an act of skills-based virtual volunteering. The mentor's interface nudges the mentor to provide a thoughtful and well-resourced response by dynamically scoring it for relevance and completeness. For our enterprise customers, Inkly's competitive advantage is that it exclusively supplies virtual, micro, and skills-based volunteer opportunities by facilitating mentorship as volunteerism. We magnify the value of their human capital by engaging it and by sharing it with the next generation of learners, offering the opportunities and social capital to make right-fitting choices about their learning and career path. In a marketplace where data-driven HR drives bottom-line impact, our value can be measured by our impact on 4 key areas of corporate productivity and profitability. Inkly's business model is best framed by venture capitalist James Currier in his article, "The Next 10 Years Will Be About Market Networks." He predicts that market networks will combine the key features of an online marketplace and a social network. With Inkly, each learner asks questions, contributes curiosity, and generates as many as 35 hours of mentor engagements per year. Each mentor offers guidance, expertise, and replies to learner questions for as many as 30 minutes or more a day. By exchanging knowledge and social capital with each other, learners and mentors have invested in each other and increased the value of the network to Inkly's paying customers, the enterprises that employ our mentors. For as little as 50 cents per hour per employee, we aim to deliver the most cost-effective HR investment our enterprise customers will ever make. Let's track the ROI for one of our customers on a $1,000 investment in their team. For $1,000, our customer could reach 10,000 or more future employees, save up to $100,000 for each employee they retain as a result of improved engagement, loyalty, and commitment, and support up to 300 employees to develop and demonstrate critical coaching, communication, and leadership skills. Our market is the nearly 4,000 large North American enterprises that employ more than 45 million people collectively, representing a $50 billion annual spend on employee engagement alone. Inkly's competitors are the scalable commercial solutions that help our customers recruit, retain, and develop their workforce. Examples include EdTech, mentorship programs, workforce development technology, employee engagement programs, and recruiting platforms. To validate our product and market, we've identified 3 use cases to test it under varied conditions. In Canada, we're piloting with select education institutions and a cohort of post-secondary learners in northern BC, as well as a cohort of reskilling learners in the midst of an oil and gas career transition in Alberta. In the US, we're piloting with MindMeet and champions at Google and LinkedIn to introduce Inkly to residents of select US opportunity zones. When Inkly can deliver access and opportunity to Canada's north, or a resource sector in a bust cycle, or a region of systemic poverty and underemployment, Inkly can deliver value to learners everywhere. And when Inkly can deliver value to learners everywhere, then it can solve some of the most pressing and expensive problems of the world's largest corporations. Inkly will win because we're an experienced team with an extensive network of expert industry advisors and an ecosystem of partners. I bring a deeply user-centric view to my work, having bootstrapped and built businesses my entire professional life, raised a family as a single mom, and founded a not-for-profit committed to youth and education. Our technology teams led by Sven Resch with decades of experience building and leading teams at scale. Sean Melrose is a veteran founder, financial strategist, and impact investment pioneer. And Caroline Weatherhead is the glue that holds us all together, with a lifetime of expertise in logistics and management of human operations. We're raising $750,000 to begin our 3 pilots in 2020, launch an enterprise-ready product in 2021, and secure an 18-month runway to our Series A in 2022.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca.
I can jump in right now with a question.
Go ahead, Lisa.
So in terms of the mentorship, if that's all volunteer-based, what do you have in place to make sure that they stay engaged and really provide that value?
A great question. So one of the things that we're really focused on, which is a big demand of enterprise clients, is the idea of micro learning and opportunities to continually use the skills that they're learning in leadership development. So all of the programming and training that is already happening at these organizations, we're tapping into different products and services that are coming from these organizations in coaching and leadership skills, communication skills, and we are delivering. We're actually in the process of building that as we speak, these relationships to be able to provide content from trusted providers that are these micro little bits of content that are able to support people in that process around asking better questions, responding to these questions in meaningful ways, asking open-ended questions, those kinds of real leadership tools that are being used in organizations that can be used in these micro increments through the technology to support people to provide better advice and guidance through their communication skills. Yes.
Just a quick question. Could you just go through what the business model would be and sort of your typical customer for the enterprise? How much they pay, and just to give us an understanding of how you get to your valuation?
Yeah, totally. Sean, you want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's incremental. So we have a pay per reply model. So as the mentor is responding to questions, the employer is only required to pay per engagement. So rather than having a flat fee for that seat in the software license modality, they're only paying for use. So you'll have certain mentors, employees who are more engaged, others less. This allows an employer to deploy to a particular department, or secure a basket of mentor replies that they can distribute evenly across their entire organization. It's effectively a sort of a utility model with regard to the cost per mentor reply.
Sure, thank you, Eric.
A question from James. What sort of traction or usage do you have currently?
We are just barely pre-pilot. So talk to us in a couple of weeks and we'll have even more information about that, but we are just about to launch into our pilot.
And I guess further to that, I will say that all of these pilot partners that we are engaged with have been very invested in the process of building out the technology, solving their challenges, reference customers that have really given us a lot of feedback along the way as to how we've structured these pilots and the process that we're using to deploy the pilots with each individual pilot is quite different, so that we can ultimately test this in varied conditions with slightly different pilots around the world to really get a lot of meaningful data back, because it's one thing to test in Alberta in a reskilling situation, another thing to be testing in the United States and in opportunity zones. And so our goal is to execute on all of those pilots to get as much data as we can to be able to move forward with a lot of valid information about what our users actually want.
Do you have enterprise pilots planned as well?
Yes, so that's phase 2. So right now we are piloting with education partners, enterprise partners at the level of, so as an example, in our Calgary pilot with Thin Air Labs, we've got Thin Air Labs, Platform Calgary, Intergen, other organizations that are partnered with the organizations that are a part of the pilot. So these are the enterprise clients that we will be using as reference customers throughout each of the pilots to really gather some meaningful feedback.
And do you think the feedback gained from sort of community type partners, where they're not all, where the users, or I guess the mentors and the mentees aren't working within the same organization? Do you think a lot of the findings will be transferable over to enterprise customers, or are they fundamentally different?
I think that's one of the experiments, really, is that these partners in the community organization, so the VIATECs and other community hubs. I see Rob Bennett's on this call. He's given me a lot of really great feedback about the needs of organizations like VIATEC, and so that's really, we've got a lot of feedback from these community organizations like the VIATECs and Platform Calgary's and Communitech, et cetera. And that is our goal, is to build a robust enough critical mass through these community organizations in order to be able to meaningfully address the needs of the enterprise client.
And Stephen, if I could to tack on, the expectation is that the enterprise partners in these pilots are not also providing the learner users. So that's where the mentorship is coming out of, but the learner users are from outside of the enterprise. So it's not intra-organization, it's inter-organization.
Yes. Yes. And when we refer to learners, learners are all ages. We're all learners always, right? So some of these learners are, coming out of high school and into college and university, and other learners are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s career transitioning. So there's a lot of demand at all stages of life, and the cycle actually looks the same, whether you're 18 or 80, of discovering your own occupational identity, the skills you need to get there, and ultimately the people you need to meet to help you get there.
Well, sorry, go ahead, Stephen.
Oh, sorry, just would the enterprise customers be paying for their people to be supporting others outside the organization?
Yes, absolutely. So these are virtual micro volunteering opportunities, and so there's a significant, COVID has created a significant increase in demand for virtual opportunities. So people are already volunteering within enterprise orgs. As we all know, we're going to the soup kitchen, we're giving blood, we're doing these things in groups. And now that demand for virtual, that was big demand before that was increasing. And now since pandemic days, everything is increasing. So really what the enterprise customer is paying for is the virtual volunteering opportunities, but the flexibility and the skills-based component of it is one of the biggest gaps. So all the research out there is really showing us that this skills-based component is big. The micro component is big, so people being able to do this on their own time, in their own way, in their busy day, as well as ultimately the virtual component that allows them to do this through technology.
Our data points to not taking into account recruiting budgets at all. Employment engagement on its own, budget allocations of $1,000 per employee per year is being spent trying to keep employees engaged. And primary within that is paying for employee volunteerism.
Okay, thank you just for time's kind of catching up to us. So thank you for the pitch presentation, guys. Want to move on to the next one, which is Olympic Media. And Justin, take it over.
Hi, I'm Justin Love, founder and CEO of Limbic Media. We're a group of creative engineers and artists producing products at the crossroads of art and technology. So let's get straight to the heart of the problem. Synchronizing music and lights together is both time-consuming and requires artistic and technical expertise. The solution we came up with was to create an expert system that uses audio analysis and deep learning algorithms to drive meaning from music and make lighting design decisions based on this meaning. So what does this look like? How do we use this technology? We've used it in 3 ways. The first thing we did with this technology was build a hardware platform for lighting control we called Aurora. I'm actually holding a 3rd generation version of Aurora here in my hands. And we've used this platform to create interactive products that we've sold into a number of commercial markets. In terms of market traction, we've had 130 customers and done $1.5 million in revenues. We've also had some pretty cool clients. Based on our historical annual growth, this business will scale to around $5 million in revenues over the next 5 years. The second thing we've done with this technology is to incorporate it into larger scale productions, like the 6-figure deal we're working on with Blue Mountain Ski Resort in Ontario. The resort's owned by the Altera Group, so if this is successful, we may have the opportunity to deploy similar installations in up to 20 other resorts. Now, if we only had these first 2 business models, I wouldn't be here pitching an investment opportunity. A year ago, I went on a grueling pitch tour, and I came back with the knowledge that based on our current business model, we weren't a highly investable company. Although we could promise investors a 3 to 5x return in 5 years, that just wasn't a big enough potential return for the risk that they were willing to take. And I get it. I understand that 9 out of 10 companies that investors invest in will fail, so that the one that succeeds really needs to make up for the rest. This kind of bothered me, to be honest. I wanted to find a business model that could scale by 10x or more. My conclusion was that the only way to make this happen quickly was to partner with other larger companies that needed to solve the same problem that we were. This brings me to a third and most important business model that we're developing, and this is a licensing-based model. We actually already have 2 European companies that we're in the final stages of negotiation with, incorporating our underlying technology into their products. We'll also be exploring market potential in many other domains, and not just the obvious ones like holiday lighting or stage lighting, but also gaming, virtual reality, and what we're calling our white whale smart lighting. Now, smart lighting is a space that currently generates about $10 billion in revenues a year. This is expected to grow by over 400% in the next 5 years to $40 billion. Who else can do this stuff? To be honest, the only other things we see out there in terms of real-time sound responsive lighting is very simplistic and often requires still knowledge of complex software to set up in advance. In addition to that, we have a number of unique value propositions. The first is we are the only expert systems lighting designer on the planet. We've patented a lot of the technology that went into that system, and we have a licensing option. In terms of business model, they're all fairly standard. For products and sales, we've got a 2 to 7x markup. Same for productions. Licensing, we've managed to get deals in the 3 to 7% kind of royalty range. In terms of market size, I'm not going to talk about the first 2 models. I've forecasted where I think they're heading, based on a bottom-up approach. I'm going to use a similar bottom-up approach for licensing, because this is what gets me really excited, and I hope it gets you guys excited. So if we can partner with 10 to 30 companies, that produce 10 to 100 million in licensed product revenues a year, that would actually create $1 billion in annual licensed product sales. At our 3 to 7% royalty rate, that's 30 to 70 million in annual recurring revenues. We've already got 2 companies that fall into there. In terms of leadership team, we have myself. I have an interdisciplinary master's degree in both computer science and visual art. And my focus was in a field called metacreation, which is endowing machines with creativity and having computers make creative decisions. My business partner, Manj Benny, also has a master's degree. His focus was on music information retrieval, which is extracting meaning from music. You can kind of see how we came up with the idea together to build this system. So what's the investment opportunity? As I mentioned, we did a raise last year, and we managed to raise 450 of the 700K I was looking to raise. We've opened up fundraising again, and I would be willing to take in another 250K in investment to hit that original target of 700K. Now, what will we do with it? Definitely increase business development for potential licensees. I'd love to have a full-time guy just picking up the phone and networking on LinkedIn every day to bring in more deals like that. There are also a number of benefits to investing in Limbic Media. In addition to equity, a 25K investment will get you a 7,500 SBVC VCC tax credit. If you don't know about those, please come talk to me. It's a great program that will put money back in your wallet the same year you invest. In addition, we're giving our investors an Aurora Pro system with 200 lights valued at about $5,000. And finally, you got the bragging rights for investing in the coolest tech company in the city. I'd like to thank you all very much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to hear about this investment opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you for that presentation.
Hi, I'm Justin Love,
Hi.
founder and CEO of Limbic Media.
All right. How's everyone doing?
Good. This is James. I have two questions. One is, what are the terms on the 250K raise?
Yeah.
And then the second question is, I like the licensing model, but can you give sort of like more examples of like types of companies, verticals, types of products that would use Limbic in the licensing model?
Yep, great question. So we'll start with terms. I'm not sure what details you want. In terms of share class would be, you'd be in the same common share class as the founders. After thinking hard and long on it, for me, that's makes the most sense in general. I know preferred shares are a bit in vogue with angel investors, but I kind of like everyone to be in the same boat together. We're going to keep the valuation at the same, although it will be post money this time to give a little bit of a benefit to the people that did invest in us last year. But that's also a great bargain because we didn't even have licensing options last year. So you're getting really good value by jumping on board now, minus the slight penalty of it being a post money investment.
So what's the number? Sorry.
3.5. And that's easily justifiable given even a basic revenue multiplier, let alone opportunity. In terms of verticals, yeah, so this is where things get really exciting because, so for example, right now we're working with two companies. One is in the holiday lighting domain, so that's an obvious fit for them. They've been struggling actually with this problem for a few years and not able to solve it, which is great validation for us. We just demoed with them a few weeks ago, and we absolutely blew their minds in terms of what we're doing. And then outside of those sort of like more obvious types of places, anything to do with like automated lighting production is a huge money saver. So that could be in Hollywood, it could be in the gaming industry, it could be in AR or virtual reality. Imagine if you're at a virtual concert and all of the stage lighting is done autonomously. And then of course, what we call our white whale is smart lighting, which you know, all the big players are into now. Google, Apple, Amazon are all doing smart home stuff, and that industry is poised to grow, like I said, by about 400% over the next 5 years. That would be getting a licensing deal with one of those type of companies would just be, epic in terms of the kind of revenues that could create.
Thanks, Justin. Eric, I see you pondering over there. You got a question that you're trying to think of?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
it's oh, sorry, go ahead, Eric.
Oh, I guess what I'm thinking in my mind is whether or not that hardware component is required, and then that kind of relates to how small can you build this out. So, comparing it to a smart light bulb was kind of where my brain was trying to sort it out. That Jordan noticed my brain working.
That's a fantastic question, Eric, and we're very excited about consumer markets and the potential there. So we're kind of currently in the middle of that analysis. Both the companies that we're working with have different hardware platforms that we may need to port our algorithms to. But we know you don't need like a hot rod to do what we're doing. But yeah, when we get down to like really cheap consumer products, I do think there will be a little bit of development there. So for example, with one of the companies, Leadworks, that sells the Twinkly product, we're going to start with their commercial product and then work into their consumer products over time. But ultimately, yeah, that's the goal. And then there's higher end consumer products too. Like even like smart light bulbs are still around $50 or $60 a piece. So, you know, putting in a more powerful, you know, chipset in them might cost another $5, but the value add for what we bring, you know, could let them sell another tier of product. And I think that's what one of the companies we're going to work with as well will be an add-on, and that's how they're going to cover the costs on their end. Is they'll actually change the pricing model slightly for systems that benefit from our technology.
Very cool. Thanks.
Thank you. Sang, you had a question there?
Yeah. Hey, Justin. I've been a big fan of the Philips Hue lighting system for a long time. And so I could really see how your sort of technology could really integrate into a Philips Hue sort of setup. Is that sort of a viable option in terms of a partnership? And I guess that's where the licensing opportunity might exist, in terms of also getting distribution through their kind of, you know, user base and install base.
Absolutely, we'd love to get on the Philips Hue platform. It's something we're actively, you know, doing business development on. We were close around a year ago with their holiday lighting division, but things kind of fizzled out, and so we're going to try a different division within the company. I think as we start licensing our products into other companies, I think that's also going to create some disruption and some ripples with some of the larger companies. Right now, we are finding it challenging in some cases to get some of the really big, you know, companies on the phone and talking with us, because, you know, big likes to work with big. With that said, you know, we do have a couple really large clients that we're working with right now. One of them is the Coca-Cola Corporation. I can't go into the details about what we're working on, but we have a pretty tenacious sales and business development team, and we're getting better at getting execs on the phone. So
awesome. Okay, well, thanks so much. I'm just kind of winding down for the time there, but thanks again, Justin, for that the presentation. I just want to start by saying thanks to everybody for participating in today's show, and thanks again for Tessa and VIATEC to help put this together. It was actually pretty much one-off to, so it was a very close, but the winner goes to Olympic Media. So they have won by a very close one vote swing there. So congratulations to Justin and the team at Olympic Media. So yeah, thanks again for participating. Justin, I'll be in touch with you via email to share everyone's contact to that.
And do you want to let the audience know what he's won again?
Yes, I'll recap. So the judges volunteered some of their time and expertise. KPMG, you're saying, donated 2 hours of their expert support. Lisa's donated 2 hours from FrontierCFO. Art from Dentons have offered 3 hours of kind of legal strategic support. And Jeff Sims from SDI have donated some of his time to help with some strategic government subsidies, employee retention programs, and of course Stephen and James from the entrepreneurial background, happy to help from that side as well. So yeah, congrats again.
Congratulations, and thank you.
All right.
Well, that concludes today's epic first battle of the pitch decks. So thanks again for everyone for participating.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Aaron. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your support.
Thanks, everyone.